Murarji Kotipalli, founder and chairman, Educare Group of Institutions, East Godavari. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and let us welcome Murarji. I welcome Rahul Alwardas, Executive Director, Sanketika Vidya Parishad Engineering College, Visakhapatnam. Neeraj Deshpande, Account Director, Coursera for Campus. We welcome you. Please be seated. And I welcome Dr. Nagajyothi Koripella, Pro Vice Chancellor, B.E.S.T Innovation University, Anantapur. Heartily welcome, ma'am. And now I welcome Dr. Amit Chavan, Director, IIEC, WIT, AP University, Amaravati. Put your hands together and let us welcome. And now I would like to welcome Vishnu Kondur, Creative Director, Alwardas Group, to please join us for the panel discussion.
A very interesting topic for this panel, especially harnessing digital tools and transforming traditional classrooms into dynamic learning environment. Now, this is a very big challenge for the educators. I think in almost every institutions that we are flooded with plethora of digital tools around us. Learning management platforms, you talk about interactive content using mobile education. All variety of tools and technologies and features and functionalities are now available to us. But the challenge that we are now today facing is that how do you actually assimilate, how do you adopt the relevant digital tools to transform the current modus operandi of teaching and learning in your classrooms to technology-enabled teaching and learning, and that's a very, very big challenge most of us are facing in our respective institutions. So this panel is specifically, we would like to focus on 4 aspects. One would be how can digital tools be effectively integrated into traditional classrooms. We know that there are many, we just spoke about it. And how do you ensure that using technology-enabled education, we can have better student-faculty engagement? That's one. The second area we'll delve around is the key challenges the institutions today are facing when they actually transition from a typical classroom-based education model to a digital or technology-enhanced or enabled modus operandi of delivery of education. Because today the faculties are more guided by the side rather than sage on this stage. So how do you actually transform that? The third area I would like to delve on is how can digital tools be used to create more personalized learning experiences, because the students as also faculties are today now adopting digital tools, and it is more of personalized learning. It is just like having a customized pizza where base remains the same and toppings changed depending on how personally you like a particular pizza. Similarly, today we're talking about, institutions are talking about personalized learning. How do we actually engage students better, ensuring personalized learning paths? We're also focusing these days towards competency-enabled or competency-based education, where the idea is to track the individual competency attainment of each and every individual student as he or she goes through the learning journey in the respective educational ecosystems. And also, what role does the faculty training play? Because eventually, we talk about technology-enabled education, we talk about digital tools, but I think in most of these discussions, we never talk about how do we empower and enable the trainers or the faculties. Because until unless faculties adopt digital tools or technology, it's very, very difficult to ensure that they're able to pass on the advantages not only to themselves, but also to these students. And I was just having a discussion prior to lunch with ma'am, and she had this concern that technology is good, LMSs are good, everything is good, but how do we ensure that teachers are able to actually use technology to reduce mundane tasks, administrative tasks that they are engaged in, and rather focus and concentrate on just education for which they're there. So I think these are the 4 areas. Since we have very little time available, what I would do is that go around the co-panelists, and I would request all of them that they should take around 3 or 4 minutes delving around these 4 areas in terms of how they feel that these challenges could be addressed and how we can emerge as better educators using technology-enabled education. So, Neeraj, I would first like to go, in terms of asking you about how do you feel about these 4 areas and what do you think that we are able to identify and address these challenges and convert them into opportunities going forward? To you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the first opportunity, and thank you, ArdorComm, for inviting me and talk about this important aspect of today's education scenario. My name is Neeraj Deshpande. I represent Coursera, specifically Coursera for Campus. I'm an account director there. And when we talk about transforming traditional classroom into the digital or hybrid medium that we cater to all the points that you address, be it student engagement or other / adoption, be it faculty training or building up faculty. I would replace the training word with building up faculty competencies. So where do we stand? What do we offer? What are the challenges that we see when it comes to institutions, specifically from the point of view of hiring relevant and quality faculties. I think that one of probably the biggest challenges any institute, any upcoming institute / university, while navigating the norms set up by the government. So we also have to consider that aspect, that we have to play within a particular framework set up by the government. So how do we best make use of that, and where do we seamlessly integrate into those things? So when it comes to how do we also modernize the curriculum? How do we talk about skilling? There is a famous line in a movie, Three Idiots, which I personally very like, is run after excellence, the success will come. We say all the universities, all the / institutes talk about placements. We talk about skills. So build skills, placements will come, or / employment will come, and that's where Coursera is focused on providing the right curriculum, providing the right tools for the faculties. We have, given the fact that Coursera was started by professors, so our DNA is research, our DNA is innovation. So we have come up with a tool which allows faculties to build their own courses. We constantly come up with courses which cater to helping them evolve on digital learning pedagogies, helping them evolve on emerging tech. We work with universities on addressing that. How do we seamlessly make sure that students are able to get engaged with the content? What kind of content it should be? Whether it should be video-based, whether it should be micro, what kind of assessment we should have, so that students at all point of time not only are learning but also are able to retain and subsequently use it, apply it. So that kind of a very 360-degree approach is what Coursera right now is working with across 250 plus universities in APAC region. As we go along, I will keep on adding points, but as of now, with these 3 to 4 issues that we have said, with respect to adoption, with respect to faculty training, with respect to ensuring that we are able to provide a modernized curriculum, with respect to focusing on skills, I think we are working on each of these aspects practically every day.
Fantastic, Neeraj, because I think what you need, you rightly said that the content is the king today. The problem is that enormous amount of content is floating around all of us. There are content players, there are search engines, and everyone is actually enamored with the amount of content which is all around us, whether it is students or faculties. And all over and above that, we have this artificial intelligence-led tools and chat GPTs and stuff like that, which is even making life tough for all of us, the key stakeholders in the education system. So it has become, in fact, a challenge to sieve out the relevant content from the irrelevant one and make it more engaging. So I think that's one area.
Absolutely. In fact, I would, sorry to kind of, butt in here. With respect, so there are two school of thoughts here when it comes to artificial intelligence. I'm from the school of thought where I look at artificial intelligence as an enabler. When it comes to faculties or when it comes to institutions or university, when you look at artificial intelligence, you look at what kind of inputs are you going to give. And that's where, so when ma'am said that how do we cut down the mundane task of the faculty so that they can dedicate their time to research, they can dedicate their time to consultancy, which ultimately helps the institute itself. We have tools which will ensure that once the faculty gives out the right inputs to that particular tool, the tool will do the rest of the job, which the faculty do not have to wait for. So that's where we focus on saying that the faculty needs to do the faculty work rather than the admin work. So we take care of the admin work, the only input, and that's the human intelligence part. So when you are building a course, the objectives, the target audience, the outcome of that particular course is human intelligence. How that pedagogy will be built is already fed into the system. So that's the school of thought I come from.
Artificial intelligence still is artificial. Anyway, Murarji sir. So what's your view, in terms of identifying the challenges that most of the institutions today are facing, whether it concerns about adoption of technology, more so finding out the relevant technology which is more specific to your requirements, as also ensuring that faculties are not only trained, but they're able to adopt the nuances of the technology and are able to apply those nuances into their day-to-day lives of creating the content, preparing the assessments and projects and grading and publishing the results, all of that stuff that they're required to do. How these are becoming challenging for the faculty, and how do we come out of it? What are your views about it? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Murarji. Actually, I'm from the best profession, that is teaching profession. Has been teaching for last 21 years. For the age groups of 3 to 17 years. So my luckiest thing here to be here, I'm from a rural area, so where no one knows what is a digital classroom, what kind of transformation should take place in the classroom. First of all, I would like to bring forward why the traditional classroom has to be transformed. First thing, of course, most of us, I think every one of us, are from a traditional classroom, if I'm not wrong. We are not from the digital classroom. Traditional classroom is always a successful thing. But the only thing is that everywhere in the world, we are with so many choices. But one unfortunate thing is that the classroom has no choices, where the children love the choices the most. The classroom has only one choice, that a person called teacher stands either in the middle or on the stage of the classroom, tries to, stands like a knowledge giver and asks the student, download whatever the content I have in my mind. So the traditional classroom has got only one problem, that is there is a limited access to the knowledge. Our brain is wired for 4 C's of skills, which are very, very effective, which are very required in the classroom. The first one is collaboration. No collaboration, we cannot learn anything. Collaboration requires the communication. These 2 things are the advantages of a traditional classroom. But another 2 C's are there. One is critical thinking, that leads to creativity. So where the traditional classroom fails, here the teacher has to cope up with both the digital technology and whereas the content-wise information, so that the classroom can be led in a proper way. So according to my opinion, so there are 5 E's of education, which everyone now, 4 E's are there. So one is engage, experience, evaluate, explore, experience. The first 3 E's can be confidently done in the classroom, that the teacher can engage and the teacher can explain better and the teacher can evaluate the student. But another 2 E's, which is experience and exploration, the digital technology can help. And the challenges what you are asking about, since I am from a rural area, cost effectiveness is the main problem and it can't be reached. For example, if you take, according to my knowledge, nearly 54% of students are studying in rural and mid-range towns. That means only 46% of students are studying in cities. I'm talking up to intermediate. So when the 54% of students are not availing the facility of the digital technology, because So that's what the students fail to acquire higher positions in the job. Because I have studied in a government school, I have studied up to my graduation, I have been in government school, but still I'm able to manage with all the things because of the help of the technology and the help of my teachers. So if the cost effectiveness and the reachability to the rural areas and the proper teacher training will be given to the teachers, so this digital platform or digital tools or integration of this digital technology in the classroom can be a great advantage to the rural area people, because most of the intellectuals are from the rural areas. Thank you, sir.
I think very relevant point, and I think we've been discussing in a number of forums about digital divide and reaching the unreached and people who don't have access to digital technology or even mobile or internet. I think that's one of the areas of concern, which I'm sure that the government bodies are thinking about. But one thing positive is that majority of these students and youngsters, whether they're in towns or villages, now are using mobile phones at least. And I was surprised to see usage of smartphones by students in rural areas and small towns, which is another development. We have Jamtara, the fraudsters. The way they use technology, I think is beyond anyone's thinking capability. So I think what we need to do is that, you're right, that access to digital technology through internet accessibility, through smartphones is one thing, and definitely should be focused on, so that everyone has accessibility, equitability in terms of accessing the digital technology-based education. So you're right in that sense. And I think that's one of the focus areas which all of us must work on. Thank you so much for your contribution. I turn to you, ma'am. I think we were discussing just before lunch about the challenges that you at your institution and university do face, which is basically adoption. So we're talking about technology, we're talking about tools, but adoption is one thing, and adoption at faculty level, because if faculties adopt new age technologies, it automatically gets passed on to the students. Students are smart. They know technology better than us. They know the better use of mobile phones. We still don't know all the features and functionalities which are in our mobiles. They know better than us. So one of the challenges has been adoption, and at faculty level. What do you think, from your experience, has been the challenge, and how in future we can address those challenges and ensure that teachers are able to adopt better and convert that adoption? Thank you.
Good afternoon, my co-panel members and all the participants. So this is a good question to me. Why? Because apart from the Pro Vice Chancellor, I am also NAC peer team member. So I will be visiting usually many universities and colleges. What happens is, definitely there is a revolution of digital tools, that too post-COVID. Previously we used to tell the students, don't use the mobile phone in the classroom. Now if they don't bring the mobile phone, we are asking why you didn't bring the mobile phone, because you have an LMS assignment, you have to submit it. There is a lot of transformation. But what happens is, every college, every university will procure all the ERP, LMS, whatever tools are available, they are ready to procure, any management or any head of the institution. The problem comes whether it is totally used or not. That is the main question. Because, for example, there are e-resources like InflipNet, Delnet, eShod, Sindhu, many things. But when we visit a library, any library, till now almost 80% of the libraries in the country, when I go and ask them, do you have Delnet? Can you please take the usage report? She says, ma'am, I forgot the login password. Or he says, I forgot, because they know very well nobody is using that. So the tools are available. They have lot of advantage. For example, in the classroom, assume a chemistry teacher, how can she teach the reaction of a uranium with other metal? It cannot be tested because uranium is radioactive. But if you use a 3D virtual lab or some simulation, it will be easy for the student to understand. So like that, we totally adopted video conferencing, everything. Previously, it was very difficult to call the guest speakers from various parts of the country or abroad. Now it's just seconds. Even in 5 minutes, we can arrange a video conferencing meeting, calling various people. Everything is fine, but only the usage is the problem. Many of the colleges, we have some ERP tools, okay, and LMS also. I was very much surprised to talk with sir during the lunch break. He was telling that the software has also been integrated with the AI. So which is very good and advanced. But only concern is the teachers are not actually, they are well versed in using the normal ERP at all. Because every time we see that every month we see that many faculty not uploading the documents or something. See, this teaching learning is now outcome based education. Without measuring the outcome, there is no use of teaching and learning. But we have now easy tools, the ERP tools, everything to calculate. Automatically everything comes. But this has become a negative. The teachers just feed the data. They don't know what is CO, what is PO, and how to get the attainment. What is the objective of calculating the attainment? They do not know. Just like a data entry operator, they will type all the values and then finally generate a report during inspection. When we ask, how do you get this? What is your target? They are unable to tell. So the main drawback is the teachers first should be educated. Okay, and it is very difficult to train the average, media course, it is very difficult to train. So already who are good in technology, the recruitment, as sir told, it is very, very difficult, that too in higher educational institution. Getting a knowledgeable person with adequate qualifications and research experience has become a very, very challenging when it comes to the colleges or universities. But when we appoint the faculty, definitely the training is required in depth. Then only they can use, unless the teachers know the features of that and how to get the main output of that, how can they tell the students to use that? That is a very difficult task. And one more thing what I would like to tell is, we are telling use digital tools for teaching, learning, etc. But when it comes to evaluation, what we are doing? The normal exams only we are conducting. There is no simulation, there is no project, there is no virtual labs. We come to finally exam writing. So first, this pattern should be changed. When we talk about digital tools, the evaluation also should be digital and it should be innovative and which can create a critical thinking among the students.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I think this is one of the challenges. And what we normally do is that when we deploy any learning management solution, one of the challenges is how do you actually motivate teachers to actually adopt a nuance. And change management has been very challenging. We all are used to doing certain things in certain ways, and there's natural and normal resistance to change. The change management is one aspect. When you actually show value to someone, that by doing so or by adopting a nuance, this is exactly you're saving a lot of time and your energy, which could otherwise be utilized in some other area. And that's how we ensure that teachers start adopting a new technology. Mindset, absolutely. So change management includes the mindset change and gradually eradicating the resistance to change. So in your view, what do you think that educational institutions in the process of adopting technology, we can't do away with technology anymore now. This has become part of our system, part of the new education policy and the government's intent to actually adopt fully or partially digital education. So how you think that these challenges currently are addressed by most of the institutions, and what are the nuances you think should be introduced so that the adoption happens smoothly and effortlessly?
Sure.
Thank you.
So very good afternoon to the panel and to all the audience here for being here after lunch. Thank you to all of you. So as Maheshwari ji has mentioned, see, one of the things we should understand with the topic that is given is what is our expectations when we mention that what flip or what change we can bring in traditional classroom. See, our expectation is that we should be preparing, like even if you take afternoon presentation given by Sabha madam, so she was mentioning that there will be a lot of skill changes that will happen in a given job role itself. So we have to prepare our students for those change in job roles. So even the title might remain same, but after 5 years, what she had mentioned is that the total skill set that is required will change. So what it means? It means that we have to prepare our students for UCA. UCA means volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So, and this has to start right from classroom. And as all the experts have pointed out, it starts with faculty. So the initiation that the faculty takes, what changes he can bring in the classroom, it all matters. See, management is there to provide all the required infrastructure, as sir has mentioned, that is all available to them. But at the same time, time is to be given, right? The intent is there, but time has to be given. The duggery that is involved with the faculty in accreditation part, as Madam was mentioning, that all has to be automized using tools like AI and so on. And believe me, faculties are ready to take up that challenge. And another thing, what I would like to say here is that critical thinking, what Sir was mentioning, that is the key component for this UCA, right? We should be taking students beyond the traditional means of learning, and we have to incorporate some techniques. I will give you my example. I have been in US for 12 years. I have done my education over there, and I was also involved with the education system over there. So we were required to be very engaging with the students. We cannot go with traditional, I think many of the classrooms have changed now. We don't have chalk and talk, but we have other means also. So we were required to be more partially entertaining, I would say, right? So we have to keep them engaging. Also in the morning session, we were discussing about the attention span part of it, which has now reduced from, probably our days it was 30 minutes. Now it has come down to 2 minutes. And there is also a study that says that it might go down as low as attention span of a goldfish, which is probably like 8 seconds, okay? So with the reels and the flipping of the information that they are exposed to, right? So it's a challenging task for faculties. It's not that easy. So faculties also have to not only be technically strong, obviously that is required, a lot of training has to go to that. Also they have to be capacity building, as we were mentioning earlier, with regard to the use of technology, but they also need to learn how to engage a class, right? Because that's where they can really connect with the students, and that's where real learning can happen. Yeah, thank you.
I think absolutely relevant, sir. Attention span is one of the challenges. When it comes to entertainment, we used to be engaged in a 3-hour movie. My daughter, she used to be engaging in
Believe me,
YouTube videos.
If I
30
ask
minutes.
here on OTT, how many of you are able to finish an entire movie in one go?
No, nobody.
Nobody. Unless you are constricted to
That
a
is the
theater.
reason of popularity behind OTT, that you can pay.
Watching like episodes. Actually.
And so this generation is now on reels. 1 minute, not more than that. That's the only attention you can draw from them. And when it comes to teaching and learning, so therefore the content, and I was, I think, talking about engaging content. That is the biggest challenge. Content is so much around us, but engaging content is the challenge. So we have little time left. What I'll do is that we'll go 30 seconds each. Let's conclude, each one of us. So we'll go with you.
Yeah, chalega. So my conclusion to transforming traditional classroom into digital learning is, like rightly said, first, define the objective, why you want to transform. Second is what you want to transform. Third is who is going to transform it for you. Fourth is what is the arrangement, and select the right environment, select the right, and then subsequently give it time. The expectation on ROI should also consider the time factor of it. Nothing is going to change overnight. Be patient. It is 4 steps forward, 3 steps back, but the change will come. With the right environment, right partners, you will see success for sure. And digital, or rather hybrid, is there to stay forever now. Thank you.
Absolutely correct. Your conclusion, sir.
So digitalization is inevitable nowadays because the children have already been adapted to that. So adaptive learning is one thing. Actually, the people say that practice makes man perfect, but I purely disagree with that. Practice makes man a machine. So the only thing is that adaptive learning, emotional intelligence, and practice can make a man. And when it comes to the student, there is only one tool where the students have been totally engaged, is digitalization. But of course, that is a destructive digital tool. So we need to convert the student. It's not the classroom. We need to convert the student from the destructive digital tool to the constructive digital tool. That's my opinion, sir. Thank you.
In a humorous perspective, suppose we are opening our door and only gate is visible, it is traditional classroom. But if you open the door and the whole globe is visible in your hands nearby, then it is digital technology of handling the classes. And definitely the teacher, whether male or female, is going to be the hero or heroine. Okay, but how the hero looks like Bahubali, then the graphics are required, like the digital tools are definitely required to show or to enhance. But a teacher is always a teacher. Without the teacher, there is no classroom, whether it is traditional or digital. Thank you.
Thank you. So as pointed out by experts, so all these tools are only for augmentation. They are only for support, but it cannot replace a class teacher because he or she is the one that weaves the fabric together and makes things happen. So just to give some examples and some study I was just going through, like morning already we have mentioned about how we can bring happiness, right? There is a curriculum that started by Delhi school and which has shown some improved results, not only with regard to performance, but also with regard to attendance. Another thing is now many of the schools are also having adult tinkering labs, right? That has also enabled faculty and students to learn technology, and they are able to better prepare for concepts and better explain the concepts to the students. And that has shown, in fact, 30% rise in students going for STEM courses, right? And we should also now explore towards multilingual language curriculum and adoption of tools so that language should not be a barrier, right? And then we should focus on inclusivity where everybody, teachers, students, everybody is involved with different backgrounds and achieve the goals that we have set for technical education.
Thank you so much. I think very informative piece. And I think a little from my side, it's portability of education these days. Everything is portable. Our mobile phones are portable, and so is education. Most of the higher education institutions, overseas also, and now this is happening in India is also, that the regular curriculum, the syllabus, major part of syllabus which is routine is put on the learning management platform and students can consume it as and when they want in bits and pieces. But when they come to classroom, it's basically application of that knowledge which they've gained in the form of assignments, assessments, and research papers, quizzes, interactions. That is the way now education is transforming and should and will transform. But the idea is that talking about generative AI, you're talking about everything. The idea is when in our institutions, if all this is ethically implemented, we use ethical use of technologies ensured, I think this is going to make changes across the globe. Please.
See, when I came from US to India, so one of the key things that I focused on is what we lacked was application-based learning, right? So that we tried to, for any concept that we're teaching, we tried to make sure that at least 1 or 2 slides we are adding in our presentations with regard to where this concept will be applied in industry. Not only that, but we also made sure that we are asking industry to maybe cover some complex topics within the given curriculum so that they can better explain the students where these are applied, because that connectivity part or connecting the dot is very important. Next, what we all been talking about since morning is project-based learning. Obviously, many technical institutes or universities have been doing that, but I would like to take one step beyond, where if we want to achieve Viksit Bharat kind of objectives, now we should start thinking about product-based learning, because project, application, project, now product. So we have to start imbibing in our students to think beyond just regular application or regular project development, but think how this can be converted into a product. Because there are many other complex things that get involved, and that once the students learn about that, I think we will achieve our goal.
Thank you so much.
And when we say that the students need to understand and utilize the digital techniques, we should be very careful in giving awareness about the data privacy, cyber security, and how to ethically use the digital tools. That is most important either for parents or teachers. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I think though it was short, but I think I'm happy that we were able to not only understand and identify the key challenges which are around technology, but also identify the possibilities that we all can adopt in terms of transforming the way we all are learning and teaching these days. Thank you so much for your presence here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the eminent speakers. And I request Dr. Prem Das Maheshwari, Director, our session moderator, to please hand over the certificates. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your valuable presence. Mr. Neeraj Deshpande, account. Dr. Nagajyothi Koripella, Pro Vice Chancellor, B.E.S.T Innovation University, Anantapur. Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we have some energy? Come on, come on, come on. 1, 2. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Special thanks to each and every eminent speaker.